Good day, everyone. Welcome to our pre-full moon garden visualization in Pisces. Now let's continue to build our healing garden as a group at some point within the 12 hours prior to each full moon, meeting DK there as he instructed, and turning our garden into a shrine of consecration, and intending to offer our garden as a chalice for the love of hierarchy to be poured in selfless service to humanity. And what is created exists, said DK to his disciple CDP when he asked her to build a healing garden, which is a place of refuge for many and a place of healing. So let's build this place and this reservoir of energy so that souls can find refuge in that place. Let's start with aligning with our own soul. Now raise your consciousness into the head, as high in the head as you can. And now carry that consciousness upward through the astral body and the mental body, then to the soul by visualizing a lotus fully open, radiating light all around as a symbol of our soul body. And now place yourself right at the center of your lotus, of your center of love, realizing that you, the personality, and you, the soul, are one. And from that point, definitely and consciously, assume the attitude of the observer. Observe your personality below and visualize your etheric body and see energy flowing freely up and down the etheric spine. Now consciously throw soul energy down into the center at the base of the spine using indigo blue light. If you don't know the color of your soul ray, blue is the color of love. And now raise it slowly via the 5 centers up the etheric spine, then to the ajna, then to the crown, and into the soul body. And say the following with conviction, knowing who you really are. I am the soul. I am light divine. I am will. I am love. I am fixed design. And sound one Om as if you were the soul inhabiting this physical body. And now let's gather in our garden. At the entrance to our garden, we stroll through arches of climbing roses. Master KH, favorite flower. Clusters of flowers in abundance overhead. And choose the tones that appeals to you. And as you walk down, let the roses gently caress your face and breathe in the delicate aroma of these beautiful cascading flowers percolating through the air. Small, lovingly trimmed emerald green bushes line the stony pathway, and hear the crunch of these little stones under our feet. Extend your senses as much as you can. Along an embankment, at the end of the archway, there are rows and rows of flowers, flowers of different hues, harmonizing tones of red, yellow, pink, white, cream, orange, and magenta. And as we create these rows, we include our favorite flower. The blooms shed fresh petals on the path, creating a soft carpet for us to walk on, releasing their individual fragrances as we step on them. On the opposite side of the embankment, we see right in the middle of our space of harmony, a lighthouse, our familiar image. A lighthouse standing tall, strong, shining beams of light in all directions as a symbol of our united group soul. And as we assemble there quietly, we hear a choir of birds fill the space with their clear and melodious notes, welcoming us to this unique space. A chorus of angelic voices sing a soft tune, accompanied by the sound of harps. Divas gently strumming the chords. Sitting still around the lighthouse, we feel the gentle warmth of the rays of the sun and feel it warm your face, your chest, your arms and your back, warming you from the inside. While in the background, the breeze softly swishing through the tall eucalyptus trees chants a melodic lullaby. And it's quite fitting to have eucalyptus trees in our garden, as DK says that they are one of the most advanced species in the vegetable kingdom. They have many healing properties. These majestic trees cast their protective shadows on the grass as sunlight peeps through this peaceful garden. Around the lighthouse, we see a large pool of crystal clear blue waters. And flowing from the pool, we see rivulets as we hear the gentle trickle of water. And we also see 3 wide streams of golden water flowing steadily. And across them are curved wooden bridges. In one area of the pool float lotuses of all colors in all stages of bloom. Some are in full bloom, revealing their gorgeous jewel, while others are just budding and barely showing their true color, but all reflecting their light in the healing waters. Just beyond the pool, a hidden path leads us to a cozy and serene corner. A few chairs and a small fountain containing supercharged, vitalizing water, perfumed by a single floating lotus, create the perfect spot for an informal sharing of one's difficulties or words of wisdom. Inhale the perfume of the flowers, imbuing the air. Everything in this garden quivers with livingness. And this is the perfect spot to bring someone who needs healing. In the distance, we hear the soothing sound of water and we follow it. We come to a tranquil pool where cascading water gently hugs rocks as it joyfully spills in a blue pool below, while bubbles of spray ricochet spiritedly in the air. Lush ferns alongside the rocks, draping in the water, enhance the serenity of the place, while the fiery brilliance of the orange and red leaves of surrounding trees brings warmth and invigorating energy to the area. And in our mind's eye, we follow a pathway which leads us to flower beds. They are a riot of spring color, reds and creams and yellows and pinks of such vibrancy, winding their way like a gentle living stream among the trees. And a row of violet flowers on either side happily follows the path of the flowers as they release their subtle perfume. Butterflies flutter through the air with their iridescent wings, attracted by the silent serenade of the blooms. They are like the flowers of the air, and their delicate and fragile wings are like floating petals, catching the light and twinkling like diamonds in the air. Buzzing bees surf the open spaces from flower to flower, seeking pollen, and the pollen looks like scintillating, bright golden pixie dust. Nearby, we hear the babble of the sound of the fountains reaching our ears. Lush green grass lines a gentle stream like a soft, velvety carpet. Feel the coolness of the grass. And the air is full of the sweet fragrance of the flowers in full bloom, adorning the fringes of the streams in this tranquil garden, quivering with life. Now, this garden that we've just created is our garden, our group garden. And now let's take a moment to add a little corner which has our individual touch. Bring in the colors, the unique features and the flora of your own country that you'd like to bloom in this serene space. Now let's invite the presence and the cooperation of the healing devas, Diva H in particular, working under Master DK and the Christ. Let's visualize them in our garden, enlivening it with their magnetism. And now sitting quiescent, our hearts beating as one. Let's link up with each other as we say the healer's mantra aloud, together, with purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart. We offer ourselves for this work of healing. And this offer we make as a group and to the ones we seek to heal. And you can think of people that you'd like to bring in our garden, to bring healing and relief to their suffering. As our outer eyes are closed, we open our inner eyes, endeavoring to hold our mind unwaveringly in the group light. And we know that Master DK2 stands steady, pouring out upon us his love and strength, and endeavoring to lift us up into a higher state of consciousness. We are now receptive to Master DK's radiant energy. The light of the lighthouse begins to shine brighter and brighter, intensifying gradually. And soon this light begins to take shape and a definite figure appears. And in our creative imagination, it's that of Master DK's, just as he promised. So let us then be impressed by powerful waves of cosmic love emanating from Master DK at the summit of our lighthouse, streaming through our harmonious group and irradiating the garden around us and imbuing it with a water of life and love. And let's listen intuitively to the Master's words and let them quench our thirst for loving understanding, and may His words touch our hearts to release healing and compassion. In Pisces, we have the fusion or the blending of soul and form. As far as man is concerned, producing the manifestation of the incarnated Christ and the perfected individual soul. The three keynotes of Pisces are: first, bondage or captivity; second, renunciation or detachment; and third, sacrifice and death. In the first cycle of experience upon the wheel, the soul itself is in captivity to substance. It has come down into the prison house of matter and linked itself to form. Hence, for the ordinary, average, or undeveloped person, the word said, "Go forth into matter." And the symbol of Pisces are the two fishes bound together by a band. Hence the symbol of Pisces, of the two fishes linked together by a band. One fish stands for the soul and the other for the personality or the form nature. And between them is to be found the thread or sutratma, the silver cord that keeps them bound to each other throughout the cycle of manifested life. Later, upon the reversed wheel, the personality is brought into captivity by the soul. This dual bondage is brought to an end by the final death, when the complete release of the life aspect from the life of form takes place. Renunciation of the father's home in the early stages of its journey into matter. The soul renounces the life and light of the monad, its source symbolized by the words, the father's home, and descends into the ocean of matter. The soul dies occultly by taking a physical form and being immersed in matter. Then the soul renounces the life of form, the personality center. Then upon the reversal of the wheel, it proceeds to detach itself from the personality and reattach itself in consciousness to the one who sent it forth. That is the monad. The soul goes back to the Father's home, to its monadic place. Such is the climaxing story of Pisces. The soul then, for the soul, is I leave the Father's home, and turning back, I save. That's its task. That is his goal. Redemption. The final stage. Pisces stands for the death of the personality and the release of the soul from captivity and its return into the task of the world Savior. The lords of will and sacrifice come down into manifestation, sacrificing their high position and opportunities upon the higher planes of manifestation in order to redeem matter and raise the lives by which it is informed. That is, the lower creative hierarchies to the status of themselves. And these lords of will and sacrifice are ourselves. It is us who have come down on earth so that we can salvage matter. We can redeem that matter and transmute it into loving matter. This is the subjective purpose underlying the sacrifice of these divine lives, who are ourselves essentially, who are qualified by knowledge, love, and will, and animated by ceaseless, persevering devotion. And of this process, all the world saviors, past, present, and to come, are the manifested symbols and the eternal guarantees. Let's ponder on that thought. Of why we have taken a body, why we have taken form and incarnated into this particular body. And we do so life after life until our task is done. Until the fourth initiation, when the matter that we have taken as bodies are redeemed, our task is done, and the solar angels return to their source. And our home is in hierarchy, and the higher etheric planes of the cosmic physical. This is our real home, not here on earth, but in the higher realms. That's where we belong. This is our home. So let that thought just really sink in for a minute. And the life of service and the directed intention to serve constitute a scientific mode of achieving release. DK here gives us a very clear instruction of how to achieve release from matter, from this prison, is service to others. That's the only way to return home to the Father's home, is through service. In Aquarius, the sign of the world service, the lesson is finally learned, and which produces the world Savior in Pisces. Hence, DK tells us, hence my constant emphasis on service. This is our ticket back home. In Pisces, the process of transmutation begins. It is in this dual sign that the imprisoned soul and the personality enter upon that process, which will transmute the lower nature into the higher manifestation. The lower psychical powers into the higher spiritual faculties. The spiritual and mental inhibition into soul expression and mental sensitivity. Devotion to the needs of the self into developed devotion and response to the needs of humanity. And finally, attachment to environment and to personality conditions, which is basically identification with form, into detachment from form and the ability to identify with the soul. Why? Because Pisces transmits the ray of love. And this force, love, cosmic love, when rightly directed and properly controlled, is the great transmuting agency, which eventually will make of the human unit a master of the wisdom, a lord of love, a dragon of wisdom in lesser degree. And the qualities of Pisces are compassion, healing, service, oneness with soul, group consciousness and understanding. Love, cosmic love, enables the thinker who fully utilizes it to put himself en rapport with the essence of all selves at all stages. That is, seeing others as a soul, not as a personality. A Lord of compassion is one who, by means of touch, feels with, fully comprehends, and realizes the manner in which to heal and correct the inadequacies of the not self, and thus actively to serve the plan of evolution. The second sense of touch is preeminently the sense of very great importance in this second solar system, a system of astral Buddhic consciousness. It's the soul, the second aspect of divinity, which is being unfolded in this second solar system. That's why the sense of touch is so important. Its correspondences on the higher planes being healing and active service. The two major rays which express themselves through the rulers of Pisces, orthodox and etheric, are the first ray of will or power focused through Pluto, the esoteric ruler, and the second ray of love and wisdom through Jupiter, its personality ruler. Through Pluto, under the destroying power of death, that is, death of desire, death of the personality, and of all which holds him between the pairs of opposites, in order to achieve the final liberation. But mind you, Pluto or death never destroys the consciousness aspect. The band uniting the two fissures is in the process of dissolution, for part of the work of Pluto is to cut the thread which binds the two opposing lives together. So it will be apparent, therefore, how important and powerful is this sign, Pisces. Through its orthodox ruler, Jupiter, that force is brought to bear which brings all together, and in this case relates the two fissures and binds them together in a functional relationship. It's the activity, consequently, of the second ray force which relates soul and form and brings the two together. And this magnetic potency is peculiarly descriptive of the activity of Pisces. So Jupiter brings head and heart into synthetic interplay. Jupiter brings heart and head together. So in connection with the lesser duality found in every human being, that of head and heart, of mind and love, and of will and wisdom. The work of Jupiter is to develop these two qualities and bring them into a synthetic interplay. Eventually, there has to be the complete fusion of love and mind before a world savior can manifest and function efficiently. And Neptune, the god of waters, is related to Pisces, a watery sign, because he rules the waters, the astral plane. Neptune is known esoterically as the initiator. Christ is spoken of as Neptune, who rules the ocean, whose trident and astrological symbol signifies the Trinity in manifestation, and who is the ruler of the Piscean age. The formula runs as follows, speaking esoterically. The fish goddesses who have leaped from earth, Virgo, to water, Pisces, unitedly give birth to the fish god, Christ, who introduces the water of life into the substance, into the ocean of substance, and thus brings light to the world. Thus does Neptune work. Neptune focuses the influence of Pisces as it concerns humanity as a whole, not just the individual man. But this only takes place towards the final stages of the path of discipleship. Today, humanity is moving rapidly towards the position of the world disciple. I am the light of the world, said Christ, the world savior. In Pisces, the sign of world saviors shines forth the light of the world. This is the light revealing the light of life itself. It ends forever the darkness of matter. And a study of light in all the signs reveals the symbolic story of the irradiation of matter, of the growth of the light body within the macrocosm and the microcosm, and finally makes clear the purpose of the Logos. And in Pisces, the Christ emerges as the world savior. You have then the whole story of unity brought about by the life and the will of the second ray, producing the emergence of the Christ consciousness and the appearing in objectivity of the Christ principle. Pisces ray 2 of love works out as the will to save. The ray of love and wisdom pours through 3 constellations, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. And in Pisces, the work is consummated, and the will of the Father works out through the second ray. Will as the will to save. There is emerging a group who will bring salvation to the world and who will so stimulate and energize the minds and souls of men that the new age will be ushered in by an outpouring of the love, knowledge, and harmony of God Himself, as well as by the reappearance of the Christ. Those on the love aspect of the second ray tread one or other of the various paths, primarily that of the world saviors. They become the divine psychologists and world teachers, and the Christ combine in Himself all of these three great traits. So Ray Two Souls were defined as world saviors. At present, we extend the definition of the world savior. It used to be predominantly used to those souls, that is, the Ray healers, the Ray Two Souls, who emerge upon the teaching ray, the second, or the Christ ray, as they reenact the drama of salvation. But now we extend the definition of the world saviors. The world saviors must be recognized as coming forth, all those who serve the race with sacrifice of some kind along many lines and in many forms. They may be great rulers or dictators, politicians, statesmen, scientists, or artists. They are dedicated souls. They rescue, they lift, they integrate, they illumine. So they are also world saviors. The basic sacrifice which the planetary Logos made was when he decided to incarnate or enter into the form of this planet. This was from pure choice, motivated by his fixed determination to function as the savior of the planet, in the same sense as the world saviors come forth for the salvation of humanity. Sanat Kumara himself is the prototype of all world saviors. Under this law of sacrifice, Sanat Kumara must turn his back upon the central spiritual sun, and with the light of his countenance irradiate the path of the prisoners of the planet. He sentences himself to stay for as long as may be needed, acting as the sun and the light of the planet until the day be with us and the night of Pralaya descends upon his finished task. Hence, the words I leave the Father's home, and turning back, I save. Sanat Kumara is the greatest example of this motto. And the law of sacrifice means also salvage and underlies all the evolutionary processes. And this instinctual tendency is the one that itself governs the law of rebirth. As these laws of will and love incarnate life after the work is done. So this urge to sacrifice, to relinquish this for that, to choose one way or one line of conduct, and thus sacrifice another way, to lose in order eventually to gain. Such is the underlying story of evolution, and is the main characteristic or quality of Pisces. Sacrifice. That is death for the soul. So not only do the solar angels, ourselves, sacrifice the higher realm to come and redeem the lower matter, but Sanat Kumara also sacrificed himself and created this planet. But we also see that the sacrifice of the solar logos as well by creating the solar system. It is the major determining impulse which impelled the soul of God himself to enter into form life. So it's the same urge to sacrifice, to lose so as to gain, to redeem, to salvage, which impelled the soul of our Logos to create our solar system. It is a governing principle of life itself and runs like a golden pattern of beauty through the dark materials of which human history is constructed. When this urge to sacrifice in order to gain, to win, or to salvage that which is deemed desirable is understood, then the whole clue to men's unfoldment will stand revealed. So then let's visualize our lighthouse, symbol of our united soul group, standing strong and detached in the middle of our garden. As Master DK at the summit pours the sacrificial, loving Piscean waters of life in the heart of every blade of grass, every flower, every lotus, every tree, and every molecule of water and of air of our garden, imbuing it with life and cosmic love for those who come and take refuge in that pool of love. And by pouring the healing water of life and love in selfless and joyful service to the race of men. Let's visualize then the flow of unconditional love or the will to good emanating from the triangle, the avatar of synthesis, the spirit of peace and the Lord Buddha, powering the Christ at the center, the embodiment of cosmic love on earth. And let's superimpose this radiating triangle on the love triangle made up of the Christ, Master DK, and our soul group. And then superimpose this fused and blended triangle of will and love on the triangle of intelligence and form made up of our group crown chakra, our group ajna, and our group alta major on the etheric plane. See these three triangles fused into one, flooding the etheric plane with myriads of triangles. Transmuting the etheric plane into loving energy. And now, using our group ajna, right eye, left eye, as distributing agent, let's now direct this dispelling radiance. And let's place our blended triangle and superimpose it on the three planetary centers, the three glands on Earth, made up of London, Geneva, and New York. And see that dispelling radiance extending from these three radiating points into neighboring countries, and particularly over the Middle East, dissipating these dark clouds hovering over that area of the earth, bringing peace, goodwill, cooperation. Breaking up separativeness and aggression and hate. We are so much more potent as a group. And better still, as a group of world saviors. And now in unison with the whole hierarchy, as they all surround the Christ, the Manu, and the Mahachohan, and Sanat Kumara himself. Let's visualize all of us in hierarchy, all of us sounding one Om together. Invoking the will to good and the will to love from Sirius, constellation, and the planetary logos of, not the planetary logos, the logos of Pisces, then Uranus, then the whole hierarchy. Let's sound that Om and direct it towards the heart center of our fellow men. And then let us say, slowly and deliberately, may the love of the one soul and the one life focused in our group radiate upon you, our fellow men, and permeate every part of your body, healing, soothing, strengthening, and dissipating all that hinders service and good health. And may they work as saviors of the seeds of life within all forms, and identify with the essence of all selves, and may their will serve humanity selflessly. And now let's picture a great pine tree in our garden, and let's gather around the Christ, Master DK, the healing ashram, and the whole ashram, the whole hierarchy, under this pine tree, saying the great invocations together as one. Could we please have somebody read the next two invocations?
I'll read number 1 and 2 if you want. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May men of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all men be the keynote of this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us to do our part. The Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming say, Come forth, O mighty one. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O mighty one. Hour of service, the saving force, has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O mighty one. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O mighty one, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end.
Let's work with the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh.
Now let us raise our clasp hands above the head and say, and so let it be. And help us to do our part and bring them down to the forehead and let them rest on your heart to radiate out powerfully into your environment and your communities. We know, O Lord of life and love, about the need. Touch our hearts anew with love, so that we too may love and give. And may the light of the garden of our souls be on the inner plane, what the sun is to the gardens of the world, a place of healing, sacrifice, and compassion for many. Thank you, friends, for joining us today. And let's keep our garden alive, especially during these times of conflict and aggression and hate, so that souls can use our space of harmony, this space that we've created as a refuge. And of healing. This reservoir, DK tells us, exists on the inner plane. So thank you. I'd invite you to join us in about an hour for our triangle of synthesis, friends. You're very welcome. The more the merrier, and the stronger we will be as more and more of you join us in our invocation on behalf of hierarchy and of humanity, invoking the will to love and cosmic love from these great spiritual beings who just wait, hovering around the earth, waiting for humanity to invoke their help. They're more than eager to bring their energies down and to help humanity. So please come and join us in an hour. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Yvonne, for voicing the two invocations.